When it comes to Coastal Carolina University's MBA program, the business is great. What's it all about? You'll find out coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the South Carolina Employment Security Commission's Coastal Workforce Center on Victory Lane in Conway, serving the entire Grand Strand. We're focused on Coastal Carolina University's recently launched Master of Business Administration program, and we're visiting with its director, John Locks. Good morning, John.
Hey, good morning.
Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here. I'm anxious to talk to you.
The big graduation weekend this past weekend, just right a couple of blocks from here.
And we have a lot of great graduates looking for great things for the population of the Grand Strand and
both this area and abroad. And now, this was not that you have not yet graduated. Any of the folks that kicked off the program, I guess August of 2006, the program just kicked off last year.
Right. Our first graduates will be in December.
Okay.
We're looking to graduate probably 6 to 7, and so it'll grow from there.
This has been very exciting, hadn't it, being on the ground floor of a new MBA program?
Oh, yeah. The opportunities are endless for us to grow, and we can get into that a little bit later on. But
yeah.
The program is just, it's exciting from a number of viewpoints, both from the business school in particular, but the employers around the South Carolina area, and particularly around here, have been very supportive of the MBA program. You know, there is a need for a higher caliber of business employee.
Right.
That's one of the things that we're providing.
And MBA programs really get into the nitty-gritty. It's not just esoteric. It's really getting into the meat and potatoes of a small business or big business.
Oh, we're training our students to do either. The MBA program is a 36-hour program. Typically, if you're a full-time student, that's 9 to 12 hours, you can graduate in 3 semesters.
Great.
So we have an accounting concentration as well as a general MBA. And we'll expand from that in the future. The program started with about 25 students in it, and it has grown to over 40 currently.
Is that right? Great.
We have an acceptance for the fall of another 10 to 15 with another 10 or 15 in process. So we think that we'll be somewhere in that 50 to 60 range for the fall. So for a first-year program,
that's very aggressive. For a first-year
strong
program. Sure. That's tremendous. Real quick about yourself, John. Are you originally from the area?
From Virginia originally, Greg.
Okay.
Did a lot of work at the University of Virginia. Went into the business world. Came back after the business world retired and went into the education just as a broad brush.
To the University of Virginia?
No. If you want a chronological,
give it to us. It'll make it easier to then get some good questions out of that.
Okay. Undergraduate, I did a little graduate work at the University of Virginia. Began my work history with a company called Unilever, which is an Anglo-Dutch company. And I was working in sales and in marketing, in corporate development, and M&A work for a division of Unilever called Thomas J. Lipton.
Okay.
Lipton tea,
Lipton
salad dressing.
tea. Sure. Yeah. We should have had some sitting out here. Yeah.
And from there I went to Planters Nuts, which was a division of RJR and Nabisco now.
Of course.
And did sales, marketing work there and some other things. Then from there went to the Sara Lee Corporation. There's a number of divisions there, primarily in the food divisions. Still same kind of work, sales, marketing, corporate development. I left Sara Lee in the early 90s to start my own company.
Is that right?
Consulting company that began work in Europe. So I lived and worked in Eastern Europe for a number of years.
In Eastern Europe.
That was right after the fall of the wall, and that's another segment.
That must have been exciting, yeah.
So, and then from there, I came back to Mississippi, where
Had you had ties to Mississippi formerly?
Not really. I had worked at a division of Sara Lee then, and my mother-in-law at that time had moved down there. So
right.
When we left Europe, we went to Mississippi just to say howdy, kind of thing. And then the university grabbed me there, and I started an international business program there.
Is that right, at the University of Mississippi?
No, it's Mississippi State.
Mississippi State, excuse me.
So that was a very, very academically successful program, and also one that was very successful for the business population. We're talking about the MBA program, but this gives you an emphasis that it was international business at Mississippi State, and then most recently joined the Coastal family.
The Wall
College of Business.
Thank you, the Wall College of Business, and of course kicking off this program. That is tremendous. And the University of South Carolina has a strong international business program, don't they, as well?
Yes, they've been well.
When you mentioned Mississippi State,
well established. USC, Thunderbird out in Arizona. Wharton has a
in Pennsylvania.
Good program.
Good.
We are more domestic. Our focus is not only for students, obviously in the area and in South Carolina, and we're probably going to attract a lot more from the northeastern corridor, which is the attraction for coastal in general. So our focus is more domestic, although we will be adding and have now components that allow our students to do things internationally, whether it's an internship or whether it's study abroad. And we'll have some exchanges for MBAs to get that diversity that we really need. But business now is defined as global.
Yes.
There's no such thing as local business. It's all global and local, if you will. So our students must have an appreciation for the rest of the world.
That is interesting. Of course, having yourself lived abroad and worked quite a bit abroad, and for very large companies, you know, I always wonder, and I'm sure small business folks or folks working in a small business wonder, when you're with a very large company, you really feel like you're a part. I mean, that must be kind of difficult at times. And I know obviously we'll talk about the book you co-authored for entrepreneurs, but working with a real large company, what's that like when you were with Unilever or Sara Lee or RJR and Nabisco and feeling like, or what were some of those feelings there working in a very large company? Not to take anything away, obviously you interface and work with, I think you said you do consulting with very large companies.
Sure. It's just another work experience. Working in a large corporation gives you access to a lot of different kinds of resources, and having that available to you makes your job in a lot of ways easier.
Much easier.
And you know, your position is your position, whether it's a large company or a small company. You have the same kinds of headaches, although the scale is a little different. But it's a people business. Always a people business, no matter if it's a large or small.
And we're on Carolina People. Thank you for that, John. Good man. Good way to kick off our
Monday morning. Has to be high tech and high touch.
Yes. And of course, I think you said this past semester you were teaching international business, and of course, a little flair of that, the excitement of, I know, wrapped up graduation this weekend, and so many things going on. As you've arrived, and I think you said you just arrived the first of the year.
First of the year.
What have been some of the most exciting aspects right here over the last 4+ months that have really tickled your fancy since you arrived?
Well, you know that we're in transition here. We had a president who's been with us for a long time, and we have a new president who came from the provost ranks. And, Dr. DeCenzo is absolutely terrific. He's a wonderful leader. And will be a superstar for Coastal as well as for this area. I think that the rest of the state's going to look toward us as one of the beacons, one of the points of light that they can look at. So that's been exciting. I think moving back to the area, I had vacationed here quite a bit. You know, so
is that right? Good.
I like the area.
Growing up in Virginia, and then coming down.
Is, you know, we didn't have a lot of beachfront in Virginia.
No, you didn't. You don't.
So most of it is
in the Tar Heel and Palmetto States.
Just the excitement of being around a university that's that's growing.
Yes.
That has a lot of great faculty, a lot of good students coming. So that was exciting.
As you say, in the midst of some change, less than 10 days ago, we were out at Coastal for Horry County's Walk America, which I know
right.
Coastal Carolina was not only the host location, but also really helped make it happen. David Bennett there, tremendous resource, not only for the university, but for the March of Dimes. Obviously, we saw Dr. DeCenzo and his family out there walking the 3 miles. We saw Dr. Engel and his folks. I mean, so many people out there really making that a successful event, and more than $305,000 were raised.
Well, one of the things that that all of us at the university feel that we've got to be part of the community, so we give back. So it's not one of those things that we just kind of sit in the classroom or in our administrative office. We make sure that we become an active part of the community.
Yes.
Wherever we're located, you're going to find us there.
Absolutely, and I'd be remiss not to mention Mark Mitchell, who was tremendous and
Mark,
very involved and is on the local board for the PD division of the March of Dimes, who I think you must work with hand in hand.
Very closely, yes.
Sure.
Oh, he's another example of just shining superstar faculty.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Coastal has recruited some, as you say, superstars, like yourself, obviously, and Mark and so many. It's impressive, and your campus there, right virtually next door, is beautiful. Is absolutely beautiful.
And we'll grow.
And we'll
we have a
continue to grow.
new center coming up so we can watch basketball games.
Yes, that's right. The Coastal Carolina Center, or the I can't remember the name of the big sponsor there that's going to do a lot to help expand the area. What the excitement for you, John, putting together, and I think I mentioned briefly a book. You did a book back in 2000. Is it The American Entrepreneur's Guide? That must have been exciting.
One of the things that we try to do is look forward, and the opportunity to co-author with Judge Esche was a singular experience, and we really combined expertise to develop that. One of the things that we found most interesting, the world operates on small businesses, and so we wanted to have a template so that people who were starting a business could just say, aha, this is the way it is. This is how we should set it up. This is what we should do. And we took it from both domestic as well as we touched on the internationalization of businesses, such as using the internet, e-commerce kinds of things. So that was really exciting, and we got a lot of very positive feedback, and it's being used in a number of courses.
Is that right? Even more exciting.
So it's kind of practitioner text as opposed to just a theoretical text.
Tomorrow we've got Harold Swanner with us, who's very active with SCORE. I'm sure you're familiar with SCORE and a lot of the things SCORE does, both on a local basis as well as nationally and internationally, and interfacing with the Small Business Administration and otherwise. A lot that happens there. And when you think about, you made a powerful statement there about small businesses. You think about the opportunity to team up with SCORE, to team up with professionals like yourself.
We have an incredible base throughout this area because it's a resort area, and a lot of people want to live here. A lot of people want to retire here. We have an untapped resource in our retired executives and their families. And they can really add a dimension to education as well as business. And one of the things that we are doing is we are tapping those executives as mentors.
Great, good. So let's talk about that.
For our MBA program, there's a number of things that will distinguish our MBA program from others. In part, it will be these mentorships where we are partnering students in the MBA program with a business executive in their discipline.
Yes.
So that the students will have the opportunity not only to talk to their academic professors, but to also talk to somebody in the real world who's a practitioner, who's an executive, who's got other kinds of perspectives. We have internships. We have a career placement center.
Right.
We have the opportunities to do things internationally. So we set up the program very, very well.
Sure.